So I thought we should talk about my lineage, my Kung Fu lineage, because it's your lineage. Now, to get to brass tacks, I have been training in martial arts since 1995, formally. I always like to say I was a world-class mimic before that. It's something that's always interested me. I didn't come to Wing Chun until quite a bit later in my training. I got my second degree black belt through Shaolin Kempo, third degree brown, almost black, no sour grapes, through American Kempo. Moved on to some independent training and whatnot. A lot of informal training with some military blokes that I knew and some college kids in the town that I was growing up with, boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai stuff. A lot of cool stuff during the years where I didn't have direct access to a teacher. But when I found Wing Chun Kung Fu, I found a home. I found a home that I hadn't had in a long time. Perhaps never. I mean, this is something completely different than anything else that I had ever had. And Wing Chun offered me not just kind of a vague history of where the art came from and how we practice, but it gave me a direct lineage. It gave me a family. Now, I have a family, and I truly believe that you make your family. That, blood and birth circumstances are far less important than the bonds you create over the course of your lifetime. And my Kung Fu family is absolutely amazing. So to get a sense of what we're talking about, I'm what you would consider a fourth generation Wing Chun practitioner, specifically Ip Man Wing Chun, Ip family Wing Chun Kung Fu. I am a certified, recognized Sifu in that lineage. And let me give you a brief breakdown of what that means. So Ip Man is the origin. He doesn't count as generation one, he counts as the origin. Ip Man, for those of you who don't know, did for Wing Chun what Helio Gracie did for Jiu-Jitsu, what became Jiu-Jitsu, what Morie Ueshiba, pardon the butchering of his name, O-sensei, did with Aikido, taking the available practices of the Judo and Jiu-Jitsu of the day and creating something that was more in line with his personal beliefs and experiences. This is what Ip Man did with Wing Chun Kung Fu. Wing Chun was this kind of backwater art that was snickered about in Hong Kong. And it's, because of the stories of it being, created by a woman or for a woman, in a very male-dominant society, it garners you some sideways stares. However, Ip Man was not just a skilled practitioner of his family's Wing Chun Kung Fu, but he was also a police officer and a citizen in a very rough city that had to live daily life there. And on top of that, he had to live through the Japanese occupation. And that being said, he was able to look at the Wing Chun system and say, there's a lot that we can alter to make this more efficient, more direct, and bring about a positive change to the system that will make it even more effective and make it quicker to learn. And so as he went through his changes, he became the origin of what is essentially a completely different style of Wing Chun. If you go back to Foshan, there's other lineages, other styles, very different expressions of what old Wing Chun and other divergent branches look like. So Ip Man is this very singular origin. Then under him you have his two sons, Ip Chun and Ip Ching, and you have the whole host of students who trained under him, up through the early 70s, before he died. And, Ip Chun and Ip Ching are very important because they both took their father's lessons and they too adapted them. They're still considered Generation 1. They're not considered a new origin point, but they are Generation 1 of Ip Man Wing Chun Kung Fu. And my Kung Fu grandfather, Grandmaster Samuel Kwok, so called because he himself has his own take. He's the head of his own line, his own divergent branch on the bigger branch of Ip Man Wing Chun, is a direct disciple of Ip Ching, and before that Ip Chun. So you have Ip Man, you have Ip Chun and Ip Ching, and then you have my Sigum, Samuel Kwok, a second generation of Ip Man Wing Chun Kung Fu, and he has gone around to every living Ip Man student that he has been able to find and touch hands with them and share ideas with them and learn from them what he can, because it's that important to him to get back to the origin of it, because everybody changes things as they go along, which is okay. But sometimes it's nice to have that gold standard of where your origin was, just so you can see the lines, And then there's my Sifu, Angela Minerva, who is here in Phoenix. She runs Phoenix Wing Chun. Her YouTube page has a bunch of really great videos, and she hosts a seminar every year here where we bring over Sigum Kwok, and she is a direct disciple under Sigum Kwok. But she's also had teachers and touched hands with other lineages, because it's important. The idea that you have an idea, I have an idea, we share ideas, now we both have two ideas, is very strong with her, and it's something that I believe in very wholeheartedly. So Ip Man, Ip Chun, Ip Ching, Sigum, Samuel Kwok, Angela Minerva, third generation. And then you have me, fourth generation, with my 20 plus years of experience outside of Wing Chun and now within Wing Chun. And I too have had a chance to touch hands with a few other lineages. And I've had a chance to roll with Samuel Kwok and gain some direct experience from him, because he does make the effort to come here and spend time with his extended Kung Fu family. And this is what I mean by it is a strong Kung Fu family. You're not backed up by some, kids' karate daycare class. You're backed up by 4 generations of experience and insight, decades and decades, compounded of martial arts experience, all rolling down, compacting into something that in my hands will become my own thing, and in your hands will become your own thing. And while you will be the 5th generation, you will also become, in a sense, your own origin point. Because if you don't make your Kung Fu yours, you're just playing dress up. You're doing a dance. It's a costume party. And it's not what we want. We want it to become part of you. We want the martial art to be something that goes beyond techniques. Techniques are, it's another discussion. And we'll get into that in another video. I've already talked too long, but it's important. Know where your family comes from, know who your family is. I see the line of my people back to the beginning. And it stuns me and awes me, and it should you too. See you in the training room. Good journey.